Hey everyone, welcome to Lina Talks, a space where stories come to life, emotions run deep, and every voice matters. I'm your host, Lina, and today we've got a story you won't forget. A Mother, a Lie, 6 Years of Grief, March 15th, 2018, 3:47 in the morning. A 911 call comes in from a cruise ship somewhere in the Atlantic. A girl is missing, 16 years old, last seen on deck 7. By sunrise, they find her phone by the railing. By noon, the search is called off. Her mother, Kesha Matthews, flies home to Atlanta 3 days later, alone. She buries an empty coffin. She screams at a grave with no body. She spends 6 years learning how to breathe through the kind of pain that has no name. And then, on a Saturday afternoon in Puerto Rico, she sees a woman who just looks like her dead daughter. The woman is with 2 kids. Kesha stood there imagining, if her daughter was alive, she might be a mother now. Before she could turn her eyes away, she saw a man approach the woman and give her a kiss on the head. That must be her husband, Kesha thought. But the moment she had a clear view of the man's face, her world came crashing down. Welcome to Lina Talks. Thanks to all my viewers and subscribers for your support. Stay tuned for daily true crime updates. Don't forget to subscribe. Kesha Matthews was born in 1976 in South Atlanta, a neighborhood where mothers worked 2 jobs and still came home smiling, where church on Sunday meant something, where family was everything. She became a single mother at 26 when Marcus, Maya's biological father, died in a construction accident, a scaffolding collapse. He was gone before the ambulance arrived. So Kesha did what mothers do. She survived. Worked double shifts as a nurse. Night shift, day shift. Whatever kept the lights on. Whatever kept food on the table. Whatever gave Maya a chance at something better. Years passed like that. Work, sleep, Maya, repeat. Then in her late 30s, Kesha went back to school, got her psychology degree, became a child psychologist. Finally, she could breathe a little easier. A hospital charity event. That's where she met Derek Bennett. He was charming, confident, knew how to listen, knew how to make her feel seen after years of being invisible. They married in 2016. Derek legally adopted Maya, 14 years old at the time. Kesha thought she'd finally done it. Given her daughter the stable home she'd always wanted, a father, security, a family, Derek Bennett seemed like the answer to prayers Keisha didn't even know she was praying. Derek was born in 1979 in Birmingham, Alabama. Middle child, the one nobody paid much attention to. His parents weren't cruel, just distant. Emotional deserts, the kind of people who provided everything except warmth. So Derek learned early how to get attention, how to read a room, how to say exactly what people needed to hear. He built a career in pharmaceutical sales on that skill, made good money, drove a nice car, smiled at all the right moments. His coworkers would later say the same thing. Derek always knew what you wanted to hear. But there were cracks. 2 previous relationships. Both ended suddenly. The women never wanted to talk about it afterward. And money problems. Gambling debts that piled up quietly, the kind of thing you hide behind a good suit and a better smile. But Kesha didn't know any of that, not yet. Maya Bennett, born 2002, spring baby, Kesha's whole world. She was artistic, the kind of kid who filled notebooks with drawings, who saw beauty in things other people walked past. She loved photography, carried a camera everywhere. For years, it was just Kesha and Maya, 2 against the world. They had their own language, their own jokes, their own rhythm. Maya was close with her mother, told her everything, until she didn't. Around 14, something shifted. Her school counselor would later recall it. Maya became secretive around sophomore year, stopped making eye contact, started spending more time alone. Her best friend noticed it too. She stopped talking about her stepdad around Christmas 2017. I asked her about it once, she just said, "It's complicated," and changed the subject. If you scroll through Maya's Instagram from that time, you can see it. Photos with Derek stop appearing after December 2017, just gone, like he'd been erased. But Kesha thought it was normal. Teenage girls pull away. They need space. They roll their eyes at family dinners. That's just what they do, right? By late 2017, the distance between Maya and Kesha had grown into something Kesha couldn't ignore anymore. Maya barely spoke at dinner, spent hours in her room with the door locked, stopped asking Kesha for help with homework, stopped asking for anything. Kesha tried everything. Heart-to-heart talks, girls' days, movie nights. Nothing worked. Derek noticed it too, or at least he said he did. January 2018, Derek came to Kesha with an idea. A family cruise, Caribbean, 10 days. Just the three of them. No distractions. A chance to reconnect. Kesha's therapist friend would later say, she was trying so hard to make it work. She wanted to believe that one trip could fix everything. Derek handled all the arrangements, booked the tickets, chose the cabin, picked the dates. March 2018, Carnival Destiny, departure from Miami. Kesha packed Maya's favorite snacks, brought photo albums to look through together, planned activities they used to do when Maya was little. She thought this trip would bring her daughter back. Pause, Guy, Abricha, March 8th, 2018. The Carnival Destiny departs from Miami. 7 decks, 3,000 passengers, one family about to fall apart. Passengers who were on that cruise would later describe the Matthews Bennett family the same way. They seemed normal. Just another family on vacation. But the cabin steward noticed something different. The girls spent a lot of time alone on the balcony, hours, just staring at the water. I'd come by to clean and she'd be out there, morning, afternoon, evening, always alone. Kesha kept a journal during the trip. She wrote in it every night, trying to process what was happening, trying to understand why this family vacation felt like a funeral. Day 2. She wrote, Maya won't eat with us. Ordered room service and stayed in the cabin. Derek says I'm smothering her, that I need to give her space. Maybe he's right. Maybe I'm the problem. Day 4, March 11th, port stop in Cozumel, Mexico. Kesha went on a shore excursion, a Mayan ruins tour, something she'd been looking forward to. She asked Maya to come. Maya said no, said she wanted to stay at the pool with Derek, so Kesha went alone. But when she got back, Maya wasn't at the pool. Derek said she'd gone to the teen club, then changed it to the arcade, then said maybe she was back in the room. The stories kept shifting, small things, easy to dismiss, but they didn't quite add up. Days 5, 6, 7, March 12th through 14th, things started to unravel. The dining staff noticed Kesha's behavior changing. She seemed anxious, kept asking if we'd seen her daughter, asked what time Maya had come to breakfast, asked if we'd seen her with anyone. The mother was clearly worried. But every time Kesha brought it up to Derek, he had the same answer. You're being paranoid. She's 16. She's exploring the ship. This is what teenagers do. You need to stop smothering her. And Kesha wanted to believe him, wanted to believe she was overreacting, that this was normal, that she was the problem. Night of March 14th, the last family dinner. They sat together in the main dining room, table for 3. The waiter who served them would never forget it. Nobody was talking. The mother kept trying to start conversations. The man just ate. But the girl looked scared. I remember thinking, that kid doesn't want to be here. She kept looking at the exits, kept checking her phone, and when her mother reached for her hand, she pulled away, like she'd been burned. That was the last time Kesha and Maya ate together. The last time Kesha saw her daughter alive, or at least that's what she thought. March 15th, 2018. 2:47 a.m., Kesha wakes up, something feels wrong. The room is too quiet. She looks over at Maya's bed. Empty, sheets pulled back. 2:51 a.m., she checks the bathroom, the balcony, the hallway, nothing. 3:03 a.m., she finds Derek in the hallway outside their cabin. He's fully dressed. Says he woke up and Maya was gone. Says he's been looking for her. Kesha asks him why he didn't wake her up. He doesn't have a good answer. 3:15 a.m., ship security is alerted. A 16-year-old passenger is missing. 3:52 a.m., a passenger on Deck 9 reports seeing something in the water off the port side near Deck 7. Can't tell what it was, maybe a person, maybe debris, maybe nothing. 4:20 a.m., the search begins. 6:33 a.m., someone finds Maya's phone. Deck 7, near the railing, screen cracked, no other signs of disturbance. 7:10 a.m., Derek is found sitting on the deck stairs, head in his hands, rocking back and forth. When security approaches, he looks up and says, "She's gone, I couldn't stop her. Stop." 7:45 a.m., the announcement is made. Passenger overboard, search continuing. But everyone knows when someone goes overboard in the middle of the Atlantic at night, you don't find them. The cruise ship security chief would later explain their protocol. We document everything, take statements, preserve the scene, but our job is to defer to port authorities. We're not equipped to run a full investigation. We get the ship safely to port and hand everything over. No body was recovered. No witnesses to what actually happened. Just an empty bed and a phone by a railing. Security footage showed camera blind spots on Deck 7, areas where certain angles just weren't covered. Derek gave his statement to security, voice shaking, eyes red. Maya had been depressed since her grandmother died 3 months ago. She'd been distant, pulling away. I tried to talk to her, tried to help, but she wouldn't let me in. I should have seen the signs. Kesha gave hers. My daughter wouldn't do this. She wouldn't. Something happened to her. Something's wrong. The ship doctor examined their cabin. No evidence of struggle, no blood, no signs of forced entry or exit. Everything appears undisturbed. March 16th, the ship docks in Miami. The investigation is handed over to Miami-Dade Police and the FBI. Within 48 hours, the case is classified. Accidental death, possible suicide, no evidence of foul play, case closed. Kesha Matthews returns to Atlanta with an empty suitcase and a death certificate for a body that was never found. Derek returns with her, grieving, supportive, destroyed by what happened, or so it seems. March 19th, 2018, 3 days after the ship docked in Miami, Kesha and Derek return to Atlanta. There's no body to bring home, no remains to bury, just paperwork, death certificates, incident reports, words on paper that are supposed to explain how a 16-year-old girl vanishes in the middle of the ocean. March 24th, the memorial service. Greenwood Cemetery, South Atlanta. The same place where Kesha's mother was buried 3 months earlier. Now there's a plot beside her for Maya, but the casket is empty. Kesha's sister Janelle was there that day. She remembers every second of it. Kesha couldn't stop screaming at the cemetery, not crying, screaming. She collapsed on the ground next to that empty casket, and she screamed like something was being ripped out of her chest. It took 3 of us to get her back on her feet, and even then she kept saying, "She's not in there, she's not in there," over and over. Derek was present, standing beside Kesha, holding her up when her legs gave out. But people noticed something. He was there, but not really there. Friends would later recall small details. Derek leaving the reception early, taking phone calls outside, checking his watch at his stepdaughter's funeral. One friend said, "I remember thinking it was grief, that everyone processes loss differently. But looking back, he seemed like he was waiting for something, like he had somewhere else to be." April 2018. Kesha spiraled. She couldn't work, couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. Her colleagues at the psychology practice put her on leave, indefinite. Come back when you're ready. But how do you come back from burying your child? She started medication, antidepressants, anxiety medication, sleep aids, little orange bottles that lined her nightstand like soldiers. And through it all, Derek was there. Except, he wasn't. By mid-April, he was sleeping in the guest room, said he couldn't sleep in their bed anymore. Too many memories, too much sadness. Kesha understood, or tried to. "I thought we were grieving together," she would later say. "I thought we were holding each other up. I didn't realize he was already gone." Bank records from that time tell a different story. April 10th, 2018, Derek opens a separate bank account, transfers funds, starts separating his finances from Kesha's. His coworkers at the pharmaceutical company noticed changes too. One of them would later testify, "He told me the marriage was over, said it was just a matter of time, said he couldn't breathe in that house anymore." This was 3 weeks after the girl died. I remember thinking, damn, that's cold. But he said it like it was already decided, like he was just waiting for the right moment to leave. May the 2nd, 2018. Kesha comes home from a therapy appointment, finds Derek in the living room, 2 suitcases packed. She asks him what's happening. He looks at her. No emotion, just tired. "I can't do this anymore." That's all he says. Kesha doesn't understand. Can't do what? The grief? The marriage? Life? "I can't stay in this house. I can't keep pretending I'm okay. I can't keep drowning in your sadness." Kesha begs him not to go. Gets on her knees. Literally, on her knees. "You're all I have left of her. Please, please don't leave me alone with this." Derek looks down at her, and for a moment, something crosses his face. Guilt, regret, pain, but then it's gone. "That's exactly the problem, Kesha. I'm not a piece of Maya. I'm not a placeholder for your grief. I'm suffocating here." He picks up his suitcases, walks to the door. Kesha is still on the floor, still begging. "Where will you go? Can we talk about this? Can we try counseling?" Derek doesn't turn around. "I'll have my lawyer send the papers." The door closes. 6 weeks after Maya died, Derek Bennett walks out of Kesha's life. May 15th, 2018. Divorce papers arrive. Derek waives all claims to the house, to shared assets, to everything. He just wants out, fast. The settlement is finalized within 30 days. No fight, no negotiation. He signs everything. Kesha's lawyer found it strange. Most divorces drag on for months, years even. This man wanted out like the house was on fire. By mid-June, Derek Bennett is gone. No forwarding address, no contact information, just gone. Kesha tries calling. The number is disconnected. She tries emailing, it bounces back. She tries reaching out through mutual friends. Nobody's heard from him. It's like he vanished. But here's what Kesha didn't know at the time. Phone records from the cruise, subpoenaed during the initial investigation but never followed up on. Multiple calls to an unknown number in the Bahamas starting on March 12th, the day after they docked in Cozumel. 5 calls that day alone, each lasting several minutes. Bank transfers, March 12th, $5,000 wired to an offshore account. Sender, Derek Bennett. March 15th, the night Maya disappeared. 3 calls to that same Bahamas number, 11:47 p.m., 1:23 a.m., 2:34 a.m. The last call ended 13 minutes before Kesha woke up to find Maya gone. Miami-Dade police had this information, the FBI had this information, but the case was closed. Accidental death. Possible suicide. No evidence of foul play. Nobody followed up on the calls. Nobody tracked the money. Nobody asked why a grieving stepfather was wiring money to offshore accounts and making calls to the Bahamas in the middle of the night. The investigation went nowhere, and Derek Bennett disappeared into thin air. Here's a question for you. What kind of man leaves his wife right after their child dies? What kind of man walks away from grief that deep? From a woman on her knees begging him to stay? Some people would say a man who's broken, a man who can't handle the pain, a man who's drowning and needs to save himself. But what if it's something else? What if it's a man who got exactly what he wanted? Summer 2018. Kesha can't stay in the house anymore. Every room holds a memory. Every corner whispers Maya's name. The mortgage is too high for one income anyway. She moves to a smaller apartment, 1 bedroom, cheaper rent, no yard, no memories. She packs Maya's things carefully. Every drawing, every journal, every piece of clothing, boxes them up like relics, can't throw them away, can't look at them either. She tries going back to work. Makes it 3 days. On the 4th day, a mother brings in her teenage daughter for a session. The girl is 16, same age Maya was. Kesha excuses herself, walks to the bathroom, and doesn't come out for 40 minutes. Her supervisor finds her on the floor, hyperventilating, crying so hard she can't breathe. They send her home, tell her to take all the time she needs. She never goes back. July 2018. Janelle gets a phone call at 2 bars in the morning. It's a nurse at Grady Memorial Hospital. Your sister was brought in tonight. She's stable now, but you should come. Kesha had taken too many pills. Sleep medication, antidepressants, whatever was in the cabinet. She told the doctor she just wanted to sleep, just wanted one night where she didn't see Maya's face every time she closed her eyes. 72-hour hold. Janelle moves in after that. Temporarily, she says, just until Kesha gets back on her feet. But getting back on your feet requires having somewhere to stand. August 2018. Janelle finds a support group. Parents of lost children. Meets every Thursday night in a church basement in Decatur. She convinces Kesha to go. The first night, Kesha sits in the back, doesn't say a word, just listens to other parents talk about children who died from cancer, car accidents, overdoses, real deaths, bodies they could bury, graves they could visit. Kesha wants to scream, "At least you gotta say goodbye, at least you know where they are." But she doesn't say anything, just sits there, counting the minutes until she can leave. She goes back the next week anyway. And the week after that, because it's the only place where people don't tell her it gets easier. Where people don't say, time heals all wounds. Where people understand that some pain doesn't have an expiration date. September 2018. Kesha hires a private investigator, uses money from the divorce settlement, gives him everything. Phone records, bank statements, the name of the crew member who helped with the search, the passenger who reported seeing something in the water. The investigator works the case for 2 months, finds nothing new. The crew member left the cruise line, no forwarding information. The passenger can't remember any more details than what's in the report. The phone calls to the Bahamas lead to a disconnected number. The bank transfer went to an account that was closed closed 3 days after Maya disappeared. Every lead ends at a wall. The investigator tells Kesha what the police already told her. Sometimes there are no answers. Sometimes people just vanish. Kesha fires him. Not because he failed, because hearing it out loud makes it real. Kesha tries to return to work. Part-time, different office, new clients who don't know her story. It lasts 3 months. The panic attacks come back. Middle of sessions, middle of phone calls, middle of grocery store trips. Her heart races, her vision tunnels. Her chest tightens like someone's standing on it. She keeps Maya's room exactly as it was, even in the new apartment, sets it up identical. Same posters, same bedspread, same stuffed animals on the shelf. Janelle thinks it's unhealthy, doesn't say anything, just hugs her sister. March 17th, 2019, Maya's 17th birthday. Kesha bakes a cake, lights candles, sings happy birthday to an empty room, then destroys the entire apartment, throws dishes, kicks holes in walls, screams until her voice gives out. Janelle finds her at 3 in the morning sitting in the wreckage, staring at nothing. September 2019, second hospitalization. This time, it's not pills, it's just giving up. Kesha stops eating, stops showering, stops answering the phone. Janelle comes by to check on her and finds her in bed, hasn't moved in 2 days, just lying there, staring at the ceiling. Another 72-hour hold, different hospital, same psychiatric ward, same questions. Do you have a plan? Do you feel safe going home? Kesha answers what they want to hear. Gets released, goes home. But safe is a funny word when home feels like a tomb. At the support group, Kesha meets Tracy. Tracy lost her son 5 years ago. Drunk driver, he was 19. Tracy doesn't try to fix Keisha, doesn't offer advice, just sits with her in the silence, in the pain. They start meeting for coffee outside of group, then lunch, then phone calls. When the nights get too long, Tracy becomes the person Kesha calls at 2:01 in the morning when she can't breathe, when the walls close in, when she needs someone to remind her that surviving this is possible. Not moving on, not healing, just surviving. COVID hits. The world shuts down. For most people, isolation is new, suffocating, unbearable. For Kesha, it's just Tuesday. She's been isolated for 2 years already. What's a pandemic compared to losing your child? But the shutdown does something unexpected. It takes away the pressure to be okay, to go outside, to pretend she's healing. Everyone's struggling now. Everyone's barely holding on. Kesha fits right in. She joins an online grief community. People from all over the country, all over the world. People who lost children, spouses, parents. People who understand that some days getting out of bed is a victory. She starts trauma therapy through telehealth. A therapist named Dr. Lisa Chen twice a week, then 3 times a week when things get bad. Dr. Chen doesn't push, doesn't rush, just asks questions. What would Maya want for you? If she could see you now, what would she say? Kesha doesn't have answers, but the questions plant seeds. Small victory. October 2020. Kesha packs away some of Maya's clothes. Not all of them, just a few. The ones that don't smell like her anymore. It takes her 4 hours. She cries through all of it, but she does it. The private investigator closes the case officially in December 2020, sends Kesha a final report, completely cold, no new leads, no new information, nothing. He refunds part of her payment, tells her he's sorry. Kesha doesn't read the report, just files it away with everything else. The death certificate, the police reports, the divorce papers, evidence of a life that used to exist. Something shifts. The medication adjustments finally start helping. The right combination, the right dosage, the fog lifts, just enough to see through it. Kesha returns to work full-time, different field this time. Administrative work at a nonprofit, nothing to do with children, nothing to do with families. She answers phones, files paperwork, goes through the motions. It's not a life, but it's not death either. Tracy convinces her to try dating. Just coffee, just talking to another human being who isn't a therapist or a support group member. Kesha goes on 3 dates that year. The first one, she cries in the bathroom. The second one, the guy asks about her family. She lies, says she doesn't have kids. The third one goes okay until he asks her back to his place. She panics, leaves before dessert. She doesn't try again. Christmas, 2021. Lowest point since the hospitalizations. Janelle invites Kesha to spend the holidays with her family. Kesha says no, says she wants to be alone. She spends Christmas Day in bed, doesn't eat, doesn't turn on the TV, doesn't answer calls, just lies there, thinking about how Maya would be 19 now, thinking about what she'd look like, what college she'd be attending, what she'd be studying, thinking about all the Christmases they'll never have. 2 days after Christmas, Tracy and Janelle show up at Kesha's apartment unannounced. They stage an intervention, not about drugs, not about suicide, about living. Tracy sits on the edge of the bed, takes Kesha's hand. You need to start living again. Not for Maya, not for us, for you. Because existing isn't the same as living, and you've been existing for 3 years. Janelle adds, Maya wouldn't want this for you. You know she wouldn't. Kesha cries because they're right, and because being right doesn't make it easier. But something about that conversation sticks. Therapy breakthrough, Dr. Chen asks a question Kesha's been avoiding for 4 years. What if you never get answers? What if you never know exactly what happened that night? Can you live with that? Kesha's first instinct is no, absolutely not. But Dr. Chen pushes, you've been waiting for closure, for answers, for something that makes sense. But what if the waiting is what's keeping you stuck? What if acceptance doesn't mean understanding? What if it just means letting go of the need to understand? It takes Kesha 6 months to sit with that question. But slowly, something loosens in her chest. She starts taking down Maya's photos. Not all of them. Just the ones in every room, the shrine she'd built. She keeps one on her nightstand, one in the living room. That's enough. She moves Maya's furniture to storage, turns the second bedroom into an office. It feels like betrayal at first, like she's erasing Maya, but Dr. Chen reminds her, you're not erasing her, you're making room for yourself. Small social activities resume, dinner with coworkers, a movie with Tracy, Janelle's daughter's birthday party. Kesha doesn't enjoy them, not really, but she shows up. And that's something. She tells Tracy one night, I don't think I'll ever be whole again. I think there's always going to be a piece missing, but maybe I can learn to live with the whole. Tracy nods. That's all any of us can do. People start noticing something different about Kesha. Not happiness, not healing, but presence. She's there when you talk to her. Really there. Not lost in her head, not drowning in the past. She takes an art class, painting, something Maya loved. Kesha's terrible at it, but she keeps going. Because it makes her feel close to her daughter in a way that doesn't hurt. November 2023. Tracy and Janelle plan a group trip, Puerto Rico, just a long weekend. Beach, relaxation, sun. They invite Kesha. She says no at first. Too much, too far, too scary. But they keep asking, keep pushing, gently. Finally, Kesha says yes. Hesitant, nervous, but willing. She packs carefully, brings sunscreen, brings a book, brings her medications, and at the last minute, she packs Maya's necklace, a silver locket Maya wore every day. Kesha fastens it around her own neck. To bring her with me, she tells Janelle. November 18th, 2023, they land in San Juan, check into the hotel, spend the first day on the beach. Kesha feels something she hasn't felt in years. Peace, not happiness, not joy, but peace. A quiet moment where she thinks, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can build a life that isn't just grief. The next day, they go exploring Old San Juan, historic sites, artisan markets. Kesha wanders through a marketplace looking at paintings, jewelry, handmade crafts. She thinks about buying something for Janelle, something for Tracy. She thinks about how far she's come, how much work it took to get here. She thinks for just a moment that maybe she's going to be okay, and then she sees a woman at a fruit stand, and her entire world shatters all over again. Here's a question for you. Can you ever truly move on from losing a child? Can you build a life on top of that kind of grief, or are you just learning to carry it better? Kesha spent 6 years trying to find an answer, but the answer found her first. November 16th, 2023. 5 of them boarded the plane to San Juan. Kesha, her sister Janelle, Tracy from the support group, and 2 other friends from Kesha's art class. Women who knew her story but didn't define her by it. The plan was simple. Long weekend, Old San Juan, beach time, good food, rest. No pressure, no agenda, just a chance to breathe somewhere that wasn't Atlanta. Kesha was nervous on the plane, kept touching Maya's locket around her neck, kept checking her bag, kept asking Janelle if this was a mistake. Janelle squeezed her hand. You deserve this. You deserve to feel okay. Day 1. Beach. They found a quiet spot away from the resort crowds, set up chairs, ordered drinks, sat in the sun. Kesha didn't go in the water, just sat there watching the waves, listening to her friends laugh. At one point, Tracy asked if she was okay. Kesha nodded. Yeah, I think I am. Day 2. Restaurants. A sunset walk along the coast. Early to bed, simple things, normal things, things Kesha hadn't done in years. She told Janelle that night, "I actually feel okay. Maybe I can be happy again." Janelle smiled. "You're already getting there." Day 3, November 18th, 2023. They decided to explore Old San Juan, the historic district. Cobblestone streets, colorful buildings, artisan markets. The group split up around 4 in the afternoon, everyone doing their own thing, planning to meet back at the hotel for dinner. Janelle wanted to shop for jewelry. Tracy wanted to find a bookstore. Kesha said she'd wander, look at art, take her time. 4:37 p.m. Keisha finds herself in an open-air market. Vendors selling paintings, ceramics, handmade crafts, music playing somewhere in the distance, the smell of fried food and fresh fruit. She's looking at a painting of the ocean when something catches her eye. A young woman standing at a fruit stand, about 20 feet away, 2 small children with her, a boy holding her hand, a girl in a stroller. Kesha doesn't know why she's staring, just something familiar, something that makes her pause, the way the woman stands, the way she moves, something. Kesha walks closer, not thinking, just moving. 10 feet away now, the young woman is picking out mangoes, laughing at something the boy says. Keisha's heart starts beating faster. 5 feet away, the young woman turns, and time stops. 6 years. 6 years of crying. 6 years of therapy. 6 years of learning to breathe without her. 6 years of looking at old photos and trying to remember the sound of her voice. 6 years of wondering what she'd look like now. If she'd cut her hair. If she'd still hate vegetables. If she'd have gone to college. What she'd be doing with her life. 6 years of imagining a ghost. And now, the ghost is standing 3 feet away, buying fruit. Kesha's heart is racing, pounding so hard she can feel it in her throat. The face is older, 22 instead of 16. Sharper angles. Woman instead of girl, but it's unmistakable. The birthmark on her neck, small, crescent-shaped, right below her left ear. Keisha kissed that birthmark 1,000 times when Maya was a baby. The walk. The way she shifts her weight from one foot to the other when she's thinking. The hands, long fingers, artist hands, the eyes, Maya's eyes, Keisha's eyes. The young woman is holding the boy's hand. He's maybe 4 years old, brown skin, curly hair, Maya's smile. The girl in the stroller is younger, 2 maybe, same eyes, same nose. Both children look like her daughter. Both children look like Kesha's family. Kesha's knees start to weaken. This isn't possible. This isn't real. She's having a breakdown, a hallucination. 6 years of grief finally breaking her brain. But then a man approaches, walks up from a nearby vendor stall holding a bag, puts his arm around the young woman's waist, leans in, kisses the top of her head. The gesture is intimate, familiar, comfortable. Kesha knows that body language, that posture, that presence. The man turns slightly, and Kesha sees his face. Derek Bennett, her husband, her daughter's stepfather, standing there, alive, real, touching Maya like she's his wife, playing father to children who shouldn't exist. The world tilts, sound mutes. Everything goes quiet except for the blood rushing in Kesha's ears. Her vision narrows, tunnel vision. All she can see is them. Derek, Maya, the children. Her knees buckle. She grabs onto a vendor table to keep from falling, and that's when Maya sees her. Their eyes meet across 3 feet of space that might as well be the ocean. Recognition crosses Maya's face. Instant. Unmistakable. Her eyes go wide. Her face drains of color. Her mouth opens slightly. Fear. Pure fear. Maya grabs Derek's arm, squeezes hard, leans in close, whispers something urgent in his ear. Derek's head snaps toward Kesha. For 1 second, their eyes lock, and Kesha sees it. The calculation, the panic, the decision. Derek grabs the stroller. Maya scoops up the boy. They start walking fast, not running, but moving with purpose. Away from Kesha, away from the truth, into the crowd. Keisha tries to move, tries to follow, tries to scream, but her body won't cooperate, her legs won't work, her voice won't come, her lungs won't fill. She stands there frozen, watching them disappear into the marketplace, watching her dead daughter walk away, alive. People are staring at her now. A woman clutching a vendor table, gasping for air, pale as death. Someone asks if she's okay. Kesha can't answer, can't move, can't breathe. Janelle finds her 5 minutes later, collapsed on the ground, hyperventilating, eyes wide, shaking. "Kesha, what happened? Are you okay?" Kesha opens her mouth. No words come out. Janelle yells for help. Tracy comes running. They lift Kesha up, try to get her to a bench. Did you fall? Are you hurt? Talk to me. Finally, Kesha speaks. 3 words, barely a whisper. I saw her. Here's a question for you. What would your body do in that moment if you saw someone you buried, someone you mourned, someone whose death destroyed you, standing there alive, with a family, with the person who abandoned you? Would you run to them? Would you scream? Would you collapse? Or would you wonder if you'd finally lost your mind? November 18th, 2023, 4:42 p.m. 5 minutes have passed since Kesha saw them. 5 minutes since her world broke open. She's still on the ground, still gasping for air, still trying to make her brain accept what her eyes just saw. Janelle is kneeling beside her. Tracy's running to get water. Other friends hovering, concerned faces, worried voices. Should we call an ambulance? Does she have a medical condition? Kesha, can you hear me? Kesha can hear everything, but she can't respond, can't form words, can't explain that she just saw her dead daughter buying mangoes. Because how do you say that out loud without sounding insane? They get her back to the hotel, support her between them, half carry her through the lobby, into the elevator, down the hall, into the room. Kesha collapses onto the bed. Janelle closes the door, looks at Tracy. The silent conversation between them says everything. She's having a breakdown. 6 years of grief finally catching up. We need to get her home. Get her to a hospital. But Kesha sits up, eyes sharp now, focused. I'm not crazy. Janelle sits down carefully, like approaching a wounded animal. Nobody said you were crazy, but you're not okay. Something happened. You need to tell us what you saw. Kesha's hands are shaking. She presses them together hard. I saw her. Tracy exchanges another look with Janelle. Saw who, honey? Maya. Silence. Janelle's voice is gentle, careful. Kesha. I saw her at the fruit stand. She was right there, with 2 kids, and Derek was with her. The words hang in the air. Janelle doesn't know what to say. Tracy looks at the floor. Kesha, honey, maybe we should call your therapist, Dr. Chen. She can talk you through. Kesha stands up, voice rising. I'm not crazy. I saw her. I saw Derek. I saw children. She's alive. My daughter is alive. Janelle tries reason. Okay, let's think about this. Let's say you saw someone who looked like Maya. That's possible. People have doubles. But Kesha, Maya died 6 years ago. We buried her. We had a funeral. We buried an empty coffin. The words stopped Janelle cold. Because it's true. There was no body, no remains. Just a death certificate and a closed case. Kesha keeps going, voice stronger now, more certain. I saw her birthmark, the one on her neck. I saw the way she walks. I saw her hands. I know my daughter. Tracy tries a different approach. Even if it was someone who looked exactly like Maya. What about Derek? You said you saw Derek. Kesha, that doesn't make sense. Why would Derek be in Puerto Rico with someone who looks like your daughter? Kesha stares at her. Because it is my daughter. Janelle stands up. Decision made. Okay, let's say you're right. Let's say you saw Maya. Then we need to call the police right now. We need to report this. No. Kesha's voice is firm. Not yet. I need to be sure. You just said you were sure. I am, but they won't be. The police, they'll think I'm having a breakdown. They'll see the hospitalizations in my file, the medications. They'll think I'm seeing things. I need proof. I need to find them again. I need to know where they live. Then we call the police. Janelle and Tracy exchange looks again. This is bad. Grief and trauma and 6 years of pain exploding all at once. But Kesha's not backing down. I'm not going home, not until I know the truth. November 19th morning. Kesha is back at the marketplace by 9 a.m. Janelle and Tracy come with her. Not because they believe her, because they're worried about her. Kesha walks from vendor to vendor, shows them an old photo of Maya, the last school photo taken before the cruise. Have you seen this girl? She might be older now, maybe with children. Most vendors shake their heads. Don't recognize her, haven't seen her. But the fruit vendor pauses, looks at the photo, looks at Kesha. Maria? Kesha's heart stops. What? That looks like Maria. She comes here sometimes. Nice girl. Always buys too much fruit for those kids to eat. Kesha's hands start shaking. Maria. Her name is Maria. That's what she told me. Maria Rivera. Where does she live? The vendor shrugs. Somewhere in the hills, I think. I don't know exactly. She doesn't talk much, just buys fruit and leaves. When does she come? What days? Tuesdays and Saturdays, usually around 4 hours. Kesha looks at Janelle. It's her. Janelle's face is pale, because if the vendor recognized the photo, then maybe Kesha isn't crazy. Maybe she really did see someone who looked exactly like Maya, or maybe she saw Maya. November 20th, Tuesday. Kesha stakes out the marketplace, sits at a cafe with a view of the fruit stand, orders coffee she doesn't drink, watches, waits. Janelle sits with her, doesn't argue anymore, just sits. Hours pass, 4 aunt comes and goes, no Maya, no Derek, no children. Kesha doesn't move, 5 hours, 6 hours. Vendors start packing up, still nothing. Janelle puts a hand on her arm. Kesha, we need to go. Not yet. She's not coming. She might. It's getting dark. Kesha finally stands, defeated, exhausted. Maybe she was wrong. Maybe it wasn't Maya. Maybe 6 years of grief really did break her. November 21st, Wednesday. Kesha doesn't leave the hotel room, stays in bed, stares at the ceiling. Janelle tries to talk to her. We're supposed to fly home tomorrow. We can extend the trip if you want. But Kesha, maybe we should just go home, talk to Dr. Chen, figure this out. Kesha doesn't respond. Tracy sits on the edge of the bed. You've been through so much, and I know you think you saw her. But honey, maybe your mind is playing tricks. Maybe grief is making you see what you want to see. Kesha's voice is flat, empty. Maybe, but she doesn't believe it. November 22nd, Thursday. Their flight is supposed to leave at 6 p.m. Bags are packed. Check out at noon. Kesha tells Janelle she wants to walk through Old San Juan one more time, just for closure. They end up at the marketplace again, because of course they do. 3:47 p.m. Kesha is standing near the same spot where she first saw them, just standing there, saying goodbye to the ghost. And then she sees them. Derek pushing the stroller, Maya holding the boy's hand, walking through the market like it's any other Saturday, shopping for groceries, living their life. Kesha grabs Janelle's arm. There! Janelle follows her gaze, sees a young woman with 2 children, sees a man beside her, sees them clearly. And for the first time, Janelle's face changes, because that woman looks exactly like Maya. Oh my God! Kesha doesn't approach them, doesn't call out, doesn't make a scene. She just watches from a distance as they shop, as they laugh, as they load bags into the stroller, as they walk to the parking area. Then Kesha follows. Janelle hisses. What are you doing? I need to know where they live. Kesha, we should call. Not yet. They watch from behind a parked car as Derek and Maya load groceries into an old pickup truck, as they buckle the children into car seats, as Derek starts the engine. Kesha memorizes the license plate, pulls out her phone, takes a photo. The truck pulls out. Kesha runs into the street and flags down a taxi. The driver rolls down his window. Where to? Kesha points at the truck disappearing around the corner. Follow that truck. Don't lose it. The driver laughs. Lady, I'm not in a movie. Kesha pulls out her wallet, throws cash at him. $200, please? The driver looks at the money, looks at Kesha's face, sees something there that makes him stop laughing. Get in. 20-minute drive out of the city into the hills, small towns, modest neighborhoods. The truck parks at a yellow house at the end of a dirt road. Kesha tells the driver to stop a block away. She watches as Derek and Maya unload groceries, as the children run up to the house, as Maya unlocks the door, as they go inside. A house, a home, a family, built on her suffering. The taxi driver asks, You want me to wait? Kesha stares at the house. No, I'm good. She pays him, gets out, stands there on the street, watching the yellow house, watching the lights turn on inside, watching shadows move past windows. Janelle stands beside her, silent. Because what do you say? After 10 minutes, Kesha turns away. Let's go back to the hotel. That night, Janelle paces the hotel room. Okay, we call the police now, right? We have an address, we have proof. We call the police and they handle it. Kesha is sitting on the bed staring at the wall. Kesha, we're calling the police, right? Silence. Kesha. Finally, Kesha speaks. Tomorrow, I need tonight to think. Think about what? About what I'm going to say to her. Janelle's voice rises. You're not going back there. We're calling the police. They'll investigate. Tomorrow. The word is final. Janelle looks at Tracy. Tracy looks at the floor. They both know. Tomorrow, Kesha is going to that house, with or without them. November 24th, 6 a.m. Janelle wakes up. Kesha's bed is empty. She checks the bathroom, the balcony. The hallway. Then she sees the note on the table. I need to do this alone. Don't follow me. I love you all. Janelle grabs her phone, calls Kesha, straight to voicemail. She shakes Tracy awake. She's gone. Tracy sits up. What? Kesha's gone. She went to the house. They throw on clothes, run to the lobby, ask the desk clerk if he saw a woman leave early. Yes, around 5:30, she got in a taxi. Janelle and Tracy look at each other. They both know where she went, and they both know what she might do when she gets there. To understand what happened in that yellow house on November 24th, 2023, we need to go back. Back to when it started. Back to when a 40-year-old man decided that his 16-year-old stepdaughter was the answer to something broken inside him. After everything came out, investigators went through Maya's old belongings. The boxes Kesha had packed away, the journals Maya kept from age 14 onward, and what they found explained everything. October 2016, Maya's journal, age 14. Derek makes me feel seen, like I'm not just Kesha's daughter, like I'm my own person. He listens to me, really listens, not like mom who's always worried about grades and curfews and whether I'm eating enough vegetables. Derek treats me like an adult. That's where it started. Not with violence, not with force, with attention. April 2017, age 15. We talked for hours on the porch last night about life, about dreams, about how most people just settle for mediocre lives because they're too scared to want more. Mom was asleep. It was just us. And for the first time in my life, I felt like someone understood me. Derek was patient, methodical. He didn't rush, didn't push, just listened. Asked questions, made her feel special, made her feel like he saw something in her that nobody else did. Classic grooming, textbook. But when you're 15 and your stepfather is the first person who makes you feel interesting, you don't see it as grooming. You see it as love. September 2017. Derek said something tonight that I can't stop thinking about. He said he married the wrong woman, that he and mom are too different, that she doesn't understand him the way I do. I asked him why he married her then. He said because he didn't know me yet. There it is. The moment Derek stopped being a stepfather and started being a predator. He was planting seeds, testing boundaries, seeing how she'd respond, and Maya responded exactly how he hoped, with confusion, with curiosity, with the first sparks of something she didn't have words for yet. November 2017. He kissed me tonight. I don't know how it happened. We were talking in his car after picking me up from Sarah's house, and then he just leaned over and kissed me, and I kissed him back. I know it's wrong. I know I should tell someone, but it didn't feel wrong. It felt like the most right thing I've ever done. She was 16 by then. He was 38. He'd been grooming her for over a year, isolating her from friends, convincing her that her mother didn't understand her, making her feel like the most important person in his world. And now he'd made it physical. Investigators would later piece together the timeline. Late 2016, Derek starts spending more time alone with Maya, offering to drive her places, helping with homework, taking her to get coffee while Kesha works. Small things, innocent things, things a stepfather should do, except they weren't innocent. Early 2017, he starts talking to her differently, asking about her feelings, her fears, her dreams, treating her like a confidant instead of a child, making her feel mature, special, different from other teenagers. Mid-2017, he begins criticizing Kesha to Maya. Nothing obvious, just small comments. Your mom means well, but she doesn't get you like I do. She's so focused on work, she doesn't see how amazing you are. Sometimes I think she's jealous of how close we are. Wedge, drive, isolate. By the time he kissed her in November, Maya already believed that Derek was the only person who truly understood her, and that her mother was the obstacle keeping them apart. January 2018, Maya's journal. We're planning something. I can't write it here, but Derek says we can be together, really together. We just need to be smart about it. I'm scared, but I trust him. He loves me. I know he does. December 2017. Derek had proposed running away. Not immediately, not obviously, just floated the idea. Wouldn't it be amazing if we could just start over somewhere? Just you and me? No judgment, no rules, just us. Maya had hesitated. What about Mom? Derek's response was calculated, rehearsed. Your mom is strong. She'll be sad at first, but she'll move on. She'll find someone new. And we'll have our own family, our own life. Isn't that what you want? And because Maya was 16 and in love and convinced that this was her soulmate, she said yes. January 2018, Derek starts planning in earnest. He researches faked deaths, searches cruise ship protocols, reads about camera blind spots and investigation procedures. He opens a bank account in the Cayman Islands, deposits money he'd been hiding, gambling wins, borrowed funds, whatever he could scrape together. $180,000. He books the Caribbean cruise, picks the dates, chooses the cabin, tells Kesha it's a family bonding trip, tells Maya it's their escape plan. The execution was simple. March 15th, 2018. 2:30 a.m. Maya leaves the cabin as planned, meets Derek on deck 7, the area with camera blind spots they'd identified earlier in the cruise. There's a crew member there, Carlos Rodriguez, 29 years old, working ship maintenance. Derek had approached him 2 days earlier, offered $15,000 cash, asked one question. If someone needed to leave this ship without anyone knowing, could you make it happen? Carlos needed the money, didn't ask questions, said yes. At 2:30 a.m. on March 15th, Carlos is waiting on deck 7. Maya hands him her phone. He places it by the railing, cracks the screen for effect. At 3:52 a.m., Carlos calls in a report. I think I saw something in the water, maybe a person, I'm not sure. Meanwhile, Maya is hidden in crew quarters, dressed in a maintenance uniform, hair tucked under a cap. March 15th, 11 a.m. The ship makes an unscheduled stop in Freeport, Bahamas. Maintenance issue, medical supply delivery. In the chaos of the stop, Maya exits the ship with Carlos, just another crew member heading to port for supplies. Nobody checks, nobody questions. She walks off that ship and disappears. Carlos puts her on a small boat to Nassau. From there, a private plane Derek had arranged, paid for with that offshore account. Destination, Guatemala City. Passenger name, Maria Gonzalez, fake passport, Maya's photo. March 20th, 2018. Derek arrives in Guatemala. Separate flight, different route. By then he's already left Kesha, already filed for divorce, already closed that chapter of his life. He meets Maya in Guatemala City, rents a small apartment, pays cash, and they start their new life. David and Maria Santos, a couple in their 20s, nobody asks questions, nobody looks twice. December 2018. Their first child is born, a boy. They name him Marcus, after Maya's biological father. The irony isn't lost on anyone. Maya is 19 now, a mother, living under a false identity in a foreign country. Does she regret it? Does she miss her mother? Does she lie awake at night thinking about the woman she destroyed? Her later journals suggest yes, but by then she's trapped. A baby, no passport, no identity, no way home, even if she wanted to go. They move to Bogota, new identities, new city, same lies. Derek works as an English teacher at a private school, uses forged credentials, nobody checks thoroughly. Maya homeschools Marcus, stays home, rarely goes out. She's isolated again, just like Derek isolated her from her friends back in Atlanta, except now she's isolated from the entire world. February 2021, second child, a girl, they name her Kira. Maya is 21 now, 2 children. No legal identity, completely dependent on Derek. This is when the cracks start showing in her journals. I miss my mom, I dream about her sometimes, wonder what she's doing, if she's okay, if she ever thinks about me, I want to call her, but Derek says it's too dangerous, that we'd both go to prison, that the kids would be taken away, so I don't call, but I miss her. They moved to Puerto Rico, U.S. territory, easier to blend in, better opportunities, new identities again. David and Maria Rivera, Derek works construction. Maya still homeschools the kids. They settle into a routine, groceries on Saturdays, park on Sundays, normal life, except it's built on a lie that destroyed a woman 600 miles away, a woman who spent 6 years believing her daughter was dead, a woman who was, at that very moment, slowly learning to breathe again. Here's a question for you. How does a 16-year-old girl get convinced that faking her death is love? How does a child agree to destroy her mother, to let her grieve a lie? The answer is simple and terrible, because she was groomed by someone she trusted, because she was isolated from everyone who could have helped her, because she was manipulated by an adult who saw her as an object, not a person, because she was a child and he was a predator. November 24th, 2023, 9:30 a.m., a taxi pulls up 2 houses down from the yellow house at the end of the dirt road. Kesha sits in the back seat, staring, watching. Derek's truck is in the driveway. She tells the driver to wait. He asks how long. She says she doesn't know. He looks at her in the rearview mirror, sees something in her face that makes him nervous. Lady, are you okay? Kesha doesn't answer, just watches the house. 10:15 a.m., the front door opens. Derek comes out. Work clothes, boots, gets in the truck. Kesha ducks down in the taxi, heart pounding. Derek backs out of the driveway, drives past them, doesn't look their way, gone. Kesha waits 5 more minutes, making sure he's not coming back. Then she pays the driver, cash, all of it. You didn't see me. The driver takes the money, drives away without a word. Kesha stands on the street alone, looking at the yellow house. 6 years of grief, 6 years of rebuilding, 6 years of learning to survive, all leading to this moment. She walks to the door. She knocks 3 times, steady, firm. Footsteps inside, light, quick. The door opens. Maya stands there wearing an old t-shirt, hair in a messy bun, coffee mug in hand. Behind her, 2 children, the boy playing with toy cars, the girl coloring at a small table. Maya and Kesha lock eyes. Time stops. Maya's face drains of all color, all blood, all life. The coffee mug slips from her hand, falls, shatters on the tile floor, brown liquid spreading, ceramic pieces everywhere. Maya's mouth opens. No sound comes out at first. Then, barely a whisper, "Mama." Kesha's voice cuts through like a blade. "Don't!" The children stop what they're doing, staring at the broken mug, at their mother frozen in the doorway, at the strange woman standing outside. Marcus, the 4-year-old, stands up. "Mommy, who is that?" Maya can't speak, can't move, can't breathe. "Marcus." Kesha stares at her daughter, the daughter she buried, the daughter she mourned, the daughter she spent 6 years learning to live without. Standing right there, alive. "Take your sister, go to your room, close the door, don't come out until I say." Kira starts crying. The boy looks scared, but he obeys. Takes his sister's hand, leads her down the hallway. A door closes, now it's just the 2 of them. Mother and daughter, 6 years between them. Kesha steps inside, uninvited. Maya backs away, stumbling over the broken ceramic. "Please, I can explain." Kesha's voice is low, controlled, but shaking. 6 years. Maya's crying now, full tears. "I know. 6 years." The words break. Keisha's voice cracks. All the control shatters. "You let me bury an empty coffin." Maya's sobbing. "I'm so sorry. You let me scream at a grave with no body. Oh, I didn't know how to. You let me try to kill myself twice." Maya's knees buckle. She grabs the door frame to stay standing. Kesha looks around the house, sees the life Maya built. Photos on the wall, toys scattered on the floor, a home, a family built on her mother's suffering. Kesha's voice is quieter now, colder. "Where is he?" Maya wipes her eyes. "Who?" "Derek, your stepfather, your husband, whatever he is to you now." Maya flinches. Like the words are a physical blow. Because that's what Derek is, isn't it? All of those things, all of those impossible, horrible things. He's at work. Call him, tell him to come home. "Mama, please, don't call me that. You lost that right 6 years ago." Maya's crying harder. "Please, we can talk, just us. We're going to wait for him." The finality in Kesha's voice stops all argument. 10:30 a.m. Kesha sits on the couch. Maya sits across from her in a chair, as far away as possible. The children are still in the bedroom, quiet now, probably scared. Kesha doesn't take her eyes off Maya. Maya tries to speak several times, opens her mouth, closes it, can't find words that make sense. What do you say to the mother you destroyed? How do you explain the inexplicable? Kesha finally speaks. "Not yet. I want him here to hear this." So they wait. Hours pass. The afternoon drags on, heavy, suffocating. Around noon, Maya gets up. The kids need to eat. Keisha nods. Maya goes to the bedroom, opens the door. Keisha can hear her talking softly. "Are you hungry? Let me make you lunch." She brings them to the kitchen, makes sandwiches, gives them juice boxes. Marcus keeps looking at Kesha. "Who is she?" Maya's voice barely holds together. "An old friend. It's okay." The boy doesn't believe her. Kids know when adults are lying, but he eats his sandwich, takes his sister back to the bedroom. Maya returns to her chair. Kesha hasn't moved, hasn't eaten, hasn't looked away, just waiting. 3:00 p.m. Keisha breaks the silence. "How old were you when it started?" Maya stares at the floor. Long silence. 15. Kesha closes her eyes, takes a breath, opens them again. "Did I miss something? Some sign? Was I working too much? Not paying attention?" "No." "Then help me understand." Maya looks up, tears streaming. "You were a good mother. You were perfect." "Then why?" "Then." The question hangs in the air. The only question that matters. Why would a daughter do this to her mother? Maya tries to explain, but how do you explain something you don't fully understand yourself? "He made me feel special, like I mattered." Like I was more than just Kesha's daughter. Kesha's jaw tightens. He said things I needed to hear. That I was smart, that I was mature, that I was different from other girls my age. He groomed you. I didn't see it that way then. I thought it was love. I thought he understood me. He was 38 years old, Maya. He was your stepfather. Maya's crying harder. I know it was wrong, but by the time I understood what was happening, I thought I loved him. And then the cruise. Maya nods. He said we could start over, be together, have a family. He said you'd move on, that you were strong, that you'd be okay. Kesha laughs, a bitter, broken sound. I tried to kill myself twice. Does that sound okay to you? Maya's face crumbles. I didn't know. He told me you'd be fine, that you'd grieve for a while and then move on. And you believed him. I was 16. I was scared. The plan was already in motion. We were on the ship, and he kept saying it would be okay, that we'd be happy, that this was our only chance. You could have stopped it, could have told someone, could have come to me. I was terrified of him, of what would happen, of losing the life he promised me. And then the years passed. Maya nods, barely. And then the years passed, and I had the kids, and I couldn't. You could have called me any day, any moment. You could have come home. Maya's voice is barely a whisper. I was ashamed. Kesha stares at her. You should be. Silence falls again. Maya wants absolution, wants her mother to understand, to forgive. But Kesha's face is stone. No forgiveness there. Just pain and rage and 6 years of grief that can never be undone. Outside, the sound of a truck pulling into the driveway. 5:20 p.m., Derek is home. The sound of the engine rumbling, then cutting off, a door slamming, heavy footsteps on the porch. Maya's eyes go wide. Terror crosses her face. Kesha doesn't move, just waits. The front door opens. Derek walks in, still in his work clothes, boots covered in dust. Maria, whose car was that down the... He stops, sees Kesha sitting on his couch. Every drop of color drains from his face. Kesha stands slowly, deliberately. Don't say my name. Derek looks at Maya, still calculating, still trying to control the situation. What did you tell her? Kesha's voice cuts through. She didn't have to tell me anything. I saw you, both of you, at the marketplace, living your life, playing house with my daughter. Derek puts his hands up, placating, like he's dealing with a difficult customer. Look, I know this seems... Kesha's voice rises, 6 years of pain behind every word. This seems like you faked my daughter's death. This seems like you groomed a child. This seems like you let me bury an empty coffin while you built a family. Derek's expression shifts. The charm drops, replaced by something harder. It's not what you think. Then tell me what it is. Maya pursued me. I tried to stop it, but Maya's voice cracks. Derek, stop. But Derek keeps going, desperation creeping in. She knew what she was doing. She wanted this. I didn't force her. Kesha takes a step toward him. She was 15. She was mature for her age. She was a child. Derek's back is against the wall now, literally and figuratively. You need to leave, Kesha. This doesn't concern you anymore. We've moved on. You should too. Kesha stares at him, voice low, deadly. Doesn't concern me? She walks to the couch, reaches for her purse. Derek doesn't notice, too busy justifying himself. We're happy here. Maya's happy. The kids are happy. You showing up after 6 years trying to ruin? Kesha pulls out the gun. She'd bought it that morning, early, before the sun came up. A gun shop that opened at 6 a.m. legal purchase. No waiting period in Puerto Rico. Background check cleared. She didn't know if she'd use it, didn't know what she'd do, but she bought it anyway. Derek's eyes go wide, all the color, gone completely now. Kesha, put that down, Maya screams. Mama, no! But Kesha's hand is steady, pointed right at Derek's chest. You took my daughter, you faked her death, you let me suffer for 6 years. Derek backs toward the door, hands up. I can explain. Just put the gun down and we can talk. You married me to get to her. That's not... You groomed a child. Derek's composure finally cracks, anger flashing through. She wanted it. She loved me. She chose me. Maya steps forward. Stop it. Both of you, stop. Maya moves between them, between her mother and the man who destroyed them both. Mama, he's not worth it. Kesha's eyes never leave Derek. Get out of the way. Please, think about this. Think about what you're doing. I've thought about nothing else for 6 years. Derek sees his opening, thinks he can still talk his way out. This is crazy. You're crazy, just like you've always been. Maya told me how you... Kesha's voice drops. Ice cold. You destroyed everything, my daughter, my marriage, my life. You took 6 years from me that I'll never get back. Derek lunges for the door. The gun goes off, bang. The sound fills the small house, deafening. Derek falls, clutches his chest, blood spreading fast across his work shirt. Maya screams. From the bedroom, children scream. Kesha stands there, gun still raised, shaking now. Derek's on the floor, gasping, blood pooling beneath him. He looks up at Kesha, confusion in his eyes, like he can't believe this is happening. You're crazy. Kesha walks closer, stands over him. You destroyed everything. Derek tries to speak, blood in his mouth now. Maya, help me. He reaches toward Maya with one hand, pleading. Call an ambulance. But Maya doesn't move, can't move. Frozen, back against the wall, staring at the blood, at Derek, dying on her floor. 1 minute passes, 2 minutes. His breathing gets shallower, faster, desperate. Please! At 3 minutes, it stops. Derek Bennett dies on the floor of the house he built on lies. Silence. Except for the children crying in the bedroom, was this justice or murder? A man who groomed a child, who destroyed a family, who let a mother drown in grief while he played house with her daughter, dead on the floor, shot by the woman whose life he stole. Is that justice or just another tragedy? You decide. The gun is still in Kesha's hand. Derek's body on the floor, blood everywhere. Maya collapsed against the wall, sliding down, sitting now, staring at nothing. From the bedroom, the children screaming. Kesha drops the gun, falls to her knees. What has she done? The bedroom door bursts open. Marcus runs out. Mommy! He sees the body, sees his mother on the floor, stops dead, 4 years old. Too young for this, way too young for this. Kira follows, 2 years old, crying, doesn't understand, but knows something is wrong. Maya snaps out of her shock, scrambles to her feet, grabs both children. Don't look, don't look. Babies, don't look. She turns them away from Derek's body, shields their eyes with her hands. But Marcus already saw. You can see it in his face. That image is burned into his brain forever. Kesha watches from across the room, watches her daughter comfort these children, her grandchildren, children she didn't know existed until 5 days ago. Children who are innocent in all of this. They didn't ask to be born into lies, didn't ask for a father who groomed their mother, didn't ask for any of this, and now they're watching their world fall apart because of her. Kesha stands slowly, legs shaking, walks toward Maya. Maya clutches the children tighter, terror in her eyes. Kesha's voice breaks. I loved you. I gave birth to you. I held you when you had nightmares. I stayed up all night when you were sick. I gave you everything. Maya's sobbing. I know. I sacrificed everything. Double shifts, night school, working myself to exhaustion, everything so you could have a better life than I had. Everything. I know. And this is what I get. The questions come rapid fire, questions without good answers. Why me? What did I do to deserve this? Was I not enough? Did I love you wrong? Did I hold on too tight? Not tight enough? What did I miss? Maya's voice is barely a whisper. You were perfect. You were always perfect. Kesha's voice rises again. Then why would you do this to someone who loved you? Why would you let me suffer for 6 years? Maya looks up, eyes red, face destroyed. I don't know. I was young and stupid and I thought... You thought what? That destroying me was love? That faking your death was a gift? Maya has no answer, because there is no answer. No explanation that makes sense. No words that undo 6 years of grief. Kesha looks down at the gun on the floor where she dropped it. She bends down, picks it up. Maya's eyes go wide. Mama! Kesha raises the gun, points it at Maya, finger on the trigger. Maya pulls the children closer. Please? Marcus's small voice cuts through. Don't hurt my mommy. Terrified, brave, protecting his mother from the stranger with the gun. Kira is hiding behind Maya now, crying, not understanding, but knowing this is bad. Kesha looks at them, really looks at them. The boy has Maya's eyes, the same eyes Kesha sees in the mirror every day. Her eyes, her mother's eyes, passed down through generations. The girl has her grandmother's nose, the same nose from photos of Keisha's mother. The woman who died 3 months before Maya died, the woman Maya never got to properly mourn because she was too busy planning her fake death. These children are her bloodline, her legacy, her family, and they're terrified of her. Keisha's hand shakes, tears streaming down her face. I should, God knows I should. Maya nods, accepting. I know. You took everything from me, my daughter, my happiness, 6 years of my life. I know. I'll never forgive you. Do you understand that? Never. I know. Silence. The gun pointed at Maya's head, the children crying. 6 years of pain versus 2 innocent faces. Then the gun drops, clatters on the floor, Keisha sobbing. I can't do it. She looks at the children, back at Maya. Not in front of them, not to them. She's breathing hard now like she just ran a marathon. They didn't ask for any of this. They didn't choose to be born into your lies. She looks directly at Maya. But you're dead to me. Do you understand? Dead. The daughter I knew died on that cruise ship. You're not her. You're a stranger who looks like her. Maya nods. Yes. Don't contact me. Don't write to me. Don't try to explain. We're done. Okay. Forever. I understand. Sirens in the distance, getting louder. A neighbor must have heard the gunshot, must have called police. Maya's voice is urgent. You should go, run, there's still time. Get out of here before they... Kesha shakes her head. No. Mama, please, run. I'm done running. I've been running from this pain for 6 years, trying to escape it, trying to survive it. I'm done. The sirens are close now, on the street, pulling up outside, car doors slamming, footsteps running, radio chatter, the front door bursts open. Police, hands up, 3 officers, guns drawn, seeing the body, the blood, the gun on the floor. Kesha stands slowly, hands in the air. I shot him, he's dead. They move in fast, cuff her, pat her down. One officer reads her rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Maya is still on the floor, holding the children, watching as they take her mother away. Kesha looks back one more time, sees Maya holding those children, protecting them, being a mother, last image, her daughter, alive. Her grandchildren exist, and she's going to prison. Was it worth it? Ask her in 4 years. Did she do the right thing? She killed the man who destroyed her life, but spared the daughter who helped him do it. She protected 2 innocent children from more trauma, but left them without a father and with a mother headed to prison. She got justice, but at what cost? There are no easy answers here, just a mother who lost everything, a daughter who threw it away, and 2 children who will spend their lives trying to understand what happened in that yellow house. November 24th, 2023, 6:47 p.m. Kesha sits in an interrogation room at the Puerto Rico Police Department, still wearing the same clothes, Derek's blood on her shoes, 2 detectives across from her. Recording device on the table, they ask her to explain what happened, and she does, all of it. The cruise in 2018, Maya's disappearance, the empty coffin, Derek leaving, 6 years of grief, the marketplace, the stalking, the confrontation, the gun. She tells them everything. The detectives listen, faces unreadable at first, but as the story unfolds, something changes. They exchange glances, write faster, ask her to repeat certain details. Wait, you're saying your daughter's death was faked 6 years ago? Yes. And the man you shot today was your ex-husband? Yes. Who was living with your daughter, who you thought was dead? Yes. One detective leaves the room, makes phone calls, runs checks. Derek Bennett, real identity confirmed. Wanted for questioning in a closed case from 2018. Carnival Cruise incident. Maya Bennett listed as deceased. Death certificate on file. But fingerprints in the house tell a different story. By midnight, the pieces come together. They find Carlos Rodriguez, the crew member who helped fake Maya's death, living in Miami now. Different cruise line. He confesses within 2 hours, explains the whole plan, the money, the timing, how Maya left the ship, everything. Keisha's story checks out. The detectives returned to the interrogation room. Look at Kesha differently now. Not like a murderer, like a woman who endured something unimaginable. November 25th, Kesha is charged with second-degree murder. Her lawyer arrives from Atlanta. Janelle hired the best she could afford. The lawyer listens to the story, takes notes, shakes his head. This is temporary insanity. Classic case. 6 years of psychological torture. You see your dead daughter alive. You confront the man who destroyed your life. Any jury will understand. But understanding and acquitting are different things. Kesha killed a man. That's a fact. Whether it was justified, that's for 12 strangers to decide. Maya is arrested the same day. Fraud. Conspiracy to fake her own death. Multiple counts. But her case is complicated. She was a minor when it started. 15 when Derek began grooming her. 16 when she faked her death. Prosecutors debate. Is she a victim or a criminal? Both. Evidence of coercive control is clear. Derek's grooming, the power imbalance, her age, but she's 22 now, an adult. And she maintained the lie for 6 years. Let her mother suffer. That has to count for something. The children, Marcus and Kira, taken by Puerto Rico Social Services that night. Emergency protective custody. Marcus saw his father die. Kira doesn't understand why mommy's gone. They're placed in temporary foster care. Janelle flies to Puerto Rico immediately, files for emergency custody. She's their great aunt, family, better than strangers. After 2 weeks of paperwork and home studies and background checks, the judge agrees. Janelle gets custody, brings them back to Atlanta. Marcus starts therapy immediately, nightmares every night. Kira clings to Janelle, cries for her mommy, but slowly they adjust. Children are resilient. They have to be. May 2024. 6 months later. The trial begins. Public opinion is divided, completely split. Some people call Kesha a hero, a mother who fought back against the man who destroyed her family, who ended a predator. Others call her a murderer, say she should have called police, should have let the system handle it. That vigilante justice isn't justice at all. Both sides are loud. Both sides are certain they're right. The trial lasts 3 weeks. Prosecution argues premeditation. She bought the gun that morning. She went to the house. She waited all day for Derek to come home. This wasn't a split-second decision. This was planned. Defense argues temporary insanity. 6 years of grief. Seeing her dead daughter alive. Meeting the man who let her bury an empty coffin. Any reasonable person would snap. Expert witnesses testify. Psychologists, trauma specialists, grief counselors. They explain what Kesha went through. The hospitalizations, the suicide attempts, the medication, 6 years of rebuilding a shattered life, and then having it all destroyed again in a marketplace in Puerto Rico. Character witnesses take the stand. Janelle, Tracy, co-workers, friends. They describe Kesha before Maya died. Happy, loving, dedicated mother. And after, broken, barely surviving. Maya testifies too, from jail. Explains the grooming, the manipulation, the fake death. The courtroom is silent as she speaks. Some people cry, but sympathy for Maya doesn't equal sympathy for Kesha. The question remains, was killing Derek justified? June 15th, 2024, the verdict, guilty, but not of second-degree murder, voluntary manslaughter. The jury found that Kesha acted in the heat of passion, that extreme emotional disturbance reduced her culpability. She killed Derek, that's not in question, but the circumstances matter. Sentencing, 8 years, eligible for parole in 4. The courtroom reacts, mixed emotions. Some people think it's too harsh. Some think it's too lenient. Kesha shows no emotion, just nods, accepts it. She knew this was coming, made peace with it already. Maya's trial is separate, quieter, less media attention. She pleads guilty to fraud and conspiracy. Her lawyer argues her case. She was groomed, coerced, manipulated by a man 20 years older. The judge acknowledges this, but also notes she had 6 years to come forward, to tell the truth, to end her mother's suffering. She chose not to. Sentencing, 5 years, federal prison. Maya cries when the judge reads it, but doesn't argue. She knows she's guilty of something, even if she's not sure exactly what. November 2024, 1 year later. Kesha is in a federal prison in Georgia, minimum security, good behavior. Janelle brings the children to visit once a month. They sit across from each other, glass partition between them, phones to talk. Marcus is 6 now, asks questions. Why did you shoot my daddy? Kesha doesn't lie, doesn't sugarcoat. Because he hurt people. He hurt your mommy when she was young. He hurt me, and I was very, very angry. Are you sorry? Pause. Long pause. I'm sorry you had to see it. I'm sorry you're hurting. But no, I'm not sorry he's gone. Marcus thinks about this, nods slowly, doesn't really understand, but accepts it. Kira is 5 now, doesn't remember much, just knows Grandma Kesha lives here behind glass. She presses her hand against the partition. Kesha presses hers on the other side. Small moment, but it matters. Maya is in a different facility, federal prison in Pennsylvania. She also gets visits from the children. Different schedule, different weeks. Confusion for Marcus and Kira. 2 mommies in prison, 1 for killing, 1 for lying. Which is worse? They're too young to understand. Maybe nobody understands. Maya is in therapy, mandatory, 3 times a week, processing her victimhood, her choices, her guilt. She writes letters to Kesha every week, apologizing, explaining, begging for forgiveness. For 8 months, Kesha doesn't respond. October 2024, Kesha writes back, 1 sentence. The kids are okay, they ask about you. That's all, but it's something. A crack in the door. Not forgiveness, not reconciliation, but acknowledgement. Maya is your daughter, whether Kesha wants her to be or not. November 2024, a documentary crew visits Kesha in prison. She agreed to the interview, wants to tell her story, wants people to understand. She looks different now, calmer. The wild grief in her eyes has settled into something quieter. Still pain, always pain, but manageable now. The interviewer asks the question everyone wants answered. Do you regret it? Shooting Derek? Kesha thinks, really thinks. I regret that it came to that. I regret that those children saw what they saw. I regret that I'm in here instead of raising my grandchildren. Pause. But I don't regret protecting those children from seeing me kill their mother. I already took their father. That was enough, the interviewer pushes. Some people say you should have called the police. Let them handle it. Kesha laughs, bitter. The police closed Maya's case in 48 hours. They called it suicide and moved on. They didn't find Derek, didn't find Maya, didn't find the truth. The system failed me 6 years ago. Why would I trust it now? So you took justice into your own hands. I took my life back. Derek stole 6 years from me. 6 years I'll never get back. He deserved what he got. And Maya, do you think she deserved prison? Long silence. Maya was a child when it started, a victim. But she was an adult when she maintained the lie, when she let me suffer year after year. So yes, I think she needs to pay for that. Not the same way Derek paid, but something. Do you think you'll ever forgive her? Another long silence. I don't know. Maybe one day, but not today. The interviewer asks about the children. Kesha's face softens. First real smile. Marcus is smart, funny, asks questions I don't always know how to answer. Kira is shy, loves to draw. She pauses. They're both in therapy, dealing with what they saw, what they lost. Do they blame you? Marcus does sometimes. He loved Derek, didn't know who Derek really was. So to him, I just killed his dad. I'm trying to help him understand, but it's hard. And your relationship with them? Building. Slowly. They call me Grandma Kesha. We talk on the phone when Janelle lets them call. I tell them stories, ask about school, try to be present from here. Do you think they'll be okay? I hope so. Keisha's voice is quiet. They deserve to be okay. They deserve a life that isn't defined by what happened in that house. The final question. People ask if you forgive her. Kesha looks at the camera, straight into it. I see her face in my grandchildren. That's the cruelest part. Every time I look at them, I see the daughter I lost, the daughter I buried, the daughter who destroyed me. She took 6 years of my life. But she gave me these 2 beautiful children. I don't know what to do with that. Pause. I don't know if I'll ever understand why she did it, why she chose him over me, why she let me suffer. Some days I'm angry, so angry I can't see straight. Some days I just miss my little girl, the girl she was before Derek got to her. Another pause. Another. The daughter I knew died on that ship. The real Maya. My Maya. She's gone. This woman in prison, I don't know her. She has my daughter's face, my daughter's voice, but she's a stranger. Final pause. But maybe one day I'll want to know her. Maybe one day I'll be able to separate the child who was groomed from the adult who maintained the lie. Maybe. She looks away. But not today. Kesha Matthews will be eligible for parole in 2028. Her grandchildren are thriving with their Aunt Janelle in Atlanta. Therapy is helping. School is going well. They're building a life. Maya Bennett will be released in 2029. What happens when she gets out? Does she reunite with her children? Does Kesha let her back into their lives? Nobody knows. Derek Bennett is dead, buried in a cemetery in Birmingham, Alabama. His family claimed the body. Small funeral. Nobody attended except his mother. Was justice served? That depends on who you ask. Here's the thing about stories like this. There are no clean endings, no moments where everything makes sense, no resolution that satisfies everyone. There's just pain, and choices, and consequences. Kesha made a choice to pull that trigger, to end Derek's life, to spare Maya's. Was it the right choice? Was it justice or murder? Maybe it's both. Maybe it's neither. Maybe there is no right answer when a mother buries her daughter, when a child is groomed by the man meant to protect her, when 6 years of grief explode in a single moment. Final questions. Did Kesha do the right thing? Should she have let Derek live? Was shooting him justified? What would you have done in that moment? What would you have done differently? There are no easy answers, only the ones you choose to believe. Share your opinion in the comments below. Tell us, if you were in that yellow house, if you'd spent 6 years grieving a lie, if you'd faced the man who destroyed you and the daughter who helped him, what would you have done? You can share this story if it moved you. This story explores the limits of forgiveness, justice, and a mother's love. It asks questions we hope we never have to answer. It shows us that sometimes there are no good choices, only impossible ones. Keisha Matthews made her choice. She'll live with it for the rest of her life. Derek Bennett made his choices too. He didn't live to regret them. And Maya Bennett, she's still making choices. Still learning who she is beyond the grooming, beyond the lies, beyond Derek. As for the children, Marcus and Kira, they're the only truly innocent ones in this story, and they'll spend their lives trying to understand what happened, trying to reconcile the grandmother who killed their father with the woman who visits them behind glass, trying to love a mother who destroyed their other mother, trying to build a life from the wreckage of everyone else's choices. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, if it made you think, if it made you feel something, leave a comment below, share your thoughts, tell us your opinion.